All right, let's do this. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on another episode of Free Beer with Charlie. I'm Big Al, and this is Charlie. Hey, how's our free beer community doing? I hope you've had a good week. We're glad you're here with us again.
Yes, glad you joined us. Charlie, everything going good with you?
Yeah, it was a good week. Can't complain. You know, it's getting fall.
I know, I love this time of year. I mean, I don't do heat very good.
Yeah.
And so it's good to get out in the outdoors, do some things outside this time of year.
You know, and that's the great thing about being in the Ozarks. I mean, the trees start changing color, the leaves start falling, and guess what? That opens up the door for this time of year with camping. We've got the lake, so we can go canoeing and kayaking and boating. Just
Lots of things to do outside.
Lots of things to do. You know, and that's something we don't talk a lot about, you know, with us discussing beer and stuff. You know, what's the number one ingredient in beer?
That'd probably be water.
Water. You know, and we're going to talk about a beer tonight that's working in conjunction with the James River Basin, and they're all about protecting the water.
Yeah.
And in an environment like ours, with all the tourists we get here in the area, you know, beautiful part of the country, lots of water, we don't think about that.
That's right. And they're all hooked together. I mean, water goes, you know, and James River is actually one of our big rivers around here in the area.
And so we're excited to talk about that a little bit because, you know, we take advantage and for granted so many things like water because we have so much of it around us. So we just thank God that there are people out there who are really trying and, you know, working together to keep the community, water and everything clean and good.
So speaking of water, I know one of our local breweries is really big on the preservation of water.
Yes.
Using local ingredients, all that kind of thing. And that's Springfield Brewing Company.
Yeah. Now, where we're at, they're just literally up the road from us. And we got to give kudos to Springfield Brewing Company because their whole principle, their whole foundation is local. It's all about the local community. It's all about, you know, the bottom line, Big Al, like we've talked about before, is, you know, we're all in this together. So everything we can do to promote local, whether it's our farmers, whether it's our water, everything. And Springfield Brewing Company is great about doing that.
That seems to be a kind of a theme among craft brewers to get as many ingredients as they can locally, you know, and support the local community, help clean up the environment in the area.
And I think that's a good point. And I think that's probably why Big Al and I love the craft brewing community most of all, is because, you know, at the heart of everything, it's all about local. It's all about the community. And, you know, with all the crazy going on in the world, you know, it's awesome to know that, guess what? The bottom line is we're all in this together. And anything we can do to help promote, help keep everything local is great.
Yeah. So this is a beer we've been talking about.
Yep.
Out of Springfield Brewing Company in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, let's just pull it out and get started. Oh man, look at the label on that. We'll pull this up for our free beer community to look at, but oh my gosh.
What's the name of that?
It's called Blue Canoe.
Blue Canoe.
And is that not totally depictive of the Ozarks?
I've been there.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. With the Blue Canoe, the bridge in the background and the creek or river there, it's gorgeous.
You got, you're cruising down the river with some ice cold beers.
Oh yeah.
This time of year, it's not way too hot or anything else. Beautiful.
It is. And, you know, once again, we got to give it to Springfield Brewing Company. They're all about local. I mean, protecting our waters, using our local farmers for not only their brew pub, but for their brews.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cool thing is, I love it that, you know, they use everything they can local to create uniquely crafted small batch brews.
Yes.
And I think that says a lot for them.
So, Charlie, what are they putting in this beer?
Well, Big Al, what they've done is at the heart of Paul's Pale Ale, which has been one of the staple lineups at Springfield Brewing Company since 1997, is they've retained the Cascade hops, but they've put in additional Amarillo hops, Equinox hops, and they reworked the malt.
Fantastic.
Well, Big Al,
Charlie,
it's that time.
I'm ready.
I am too. I'm so thirsty looking at this
thing
label.
open. I'll slide you a glass over there.
Ooh. That was a close call this time.
These are breakable.
We're going to lose one of these days.
Oh man, Blue Canoe.
Blue Canoe. Look at the color of that.
Yeah, that's pretty. Nice.
Oh my.
It's clearer than I thought. It's a little bit hazy, but it's
tinge haze, but that color is gorgeous. Now this is considered a traditional American pale ale.
Oh, okay.
What do you think on the smell on that?
You know, it's a typical one.
Yeah, I say typical one.
Nothing really to write home about.
No, I say we take a shot of it.
All right. Very nice.
Very nice.
It's a good beer.
It's a good beer.
So, American Pale Ale. I don't know how they classify that exactly.
Yeah, we got the India Pale Ales and the American Pale Ales and
The oatmeal pale ale.
yeah, oatmeal Pale Ales that we just did. And
Yeah.
that's a good beer, good clean. I like it. It's got a good color.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think on bitter or sweet?
It's kind of strange, you know. It leaves me drier at the end, like I want to just take another drink.
Right.
And
And I wonder if that's part of the process. Do you think they've calculated and figured out how to do that? How you can make a beer where you take a drink and
as
you
long
want
as
more
it's
beer to
going
drink?
down,
Yeah.
you feel good.
And what's unique about this is because it's kind of like the best of both worlds because
It
you
is.
kind of get a little sweetness, you get a little bitter, but have we ever had a just truly balanced beer?
Well, it seems like we have, but I would have to say this is probably one of those.
Yeah,
A
this
zero.
is a zero, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
not
I
sure
can't
if
say one or the other for sure.
but I'd say they've done fantastic on. I believe it's a truly balanced beer because you get, like I said, a little of both. You get a little of sweet, a little bit of the.
I'm getting a little
and neither,
maltiness.
and neither is over the top. It's not too much of either, and I think that's a.
What do you think on our categories of beer? I mean, this isn't a beginner beer.
No, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a
mild.
guzzler either.
No, it's not as refreshing as a guzzler should
No,
be.
really, I probably class this as an in between.
Yeah. So an in-between beer is kind of a hard to pin down. You know, it's one of those beers to me that maybe cleanses the palate
Right.
in between some
Yeah.
other beers.
And this is, I think we'd probably class this as overall probably a 3.
Yeah.
And you know, just to reiterate to our community, you know, a 3 is a fantastic beer. It's a good beer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily have a wow factor to it.
Right.
Now, I can't stress enough, everybody needs to get a hold of this. It's good beer.
Don't you think people miss out when they like drink the same
I do.
anything?
I
Not
do.
all the time.
And I think that's the great thing that we try to convey to everybody with the craft brewers is that the uniqueness of this is fantastic. I mean, it's definitely a unique beer.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have that over the top wow factor. So, but definitely a good beer. I mean, we encourage you to go out and get some and try it. Definitely
and
good.
Part of the proceeds help to keep our waters clean.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, Big Al,
Charlie?
here's to God, guns, and rock and roll.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, it's nice. Very good.
Very good.
Don't forget, folks, I'm Big Al.
I'm Charlie.
Till next time. So speaking of water, a lot of local breweries tend to use water. I don't know. What was that? Well, speaking of water, I know that our local brewery of ours has stout and everything. Yeah.
Now, we haven't actually named this beer yet.
It's already named.
What?
Okay, so this is the beer we've been talking about.
Yes, sir.
This is from Springfield Brewing Company in Springfield, Missouri. Okay!
It's funny the things I hear in my brain but don't come out of my mouth.
I'm just the opposite. I got things coming out that I never even thought of.